for the shade, can't stop my light. MCM fit the body up nice. All black men's make a man look twice. Self-love. Dope stay blessed and I think up above. You hear this? She thinks she the shit. Post take a flick. Yes, I'm full of it.
Love a countdown. Okay.
You see, so much fun happens before we even hit record for each podcast episode. But I said, wait. We had so much gems in the past 5 minutes of our check-in for this recording. But it
should have been recorded already.
But some things. We will talk about the future, y'all. We will talk about live podcasting, how we're going to collaborate. Stay tuned for that. Let me kick off the show. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Promo Podcast, episode 9. Let me tell you something. Episode 9, I feel the work of episode 9. And I'm very proud and excited because the Pro Mama Podcast, I was telling Dominique that it is a vision that I had where I wanted to have insightful conversations with other women who are navigating career design and the motherhood journey, not compromising, but finding a way that works for them. So I'm so excited for our Pro Mama of today, Dominique Andriese. She is someone that I have known for years. I have had such a love for watching her as a mom, watching her navigate this space in her career. She is what I call, to me, a Zen mama, which I try to be. I'm not Zen. Full transparency. We both talked about our kids being home for spring break.
Yes.
I just fiddling yelling at mine for 20 minutes. She was like, mine are at the park frolicking.
Well,
I'm like,
they need to
at these people.
We need to get a parachute. We need to get a little something to come pick the babies up so they could go.
But we'll figure that part out. But I love when I have my Pro Mamas start off by giving the Pro Mama stats. What that is start us off with letting us know who your kid, how many kids you have.
Okay.
Their ages. Names, if you please, but we don't force that. And who you are as a pro mama, your professional world, what fills your cup, what are your career goals and aspirations? And then we'll lead from there.
Love that. Thank you so much. I want to definitely do some housekeeping and say thank you for allowing me to be here. I have watched you grow. We grew up at Hofstra. We're not going to talk about that because we're not going to age ourselves. Okay, we're not going to go there. Okay, to answer your question, so I have one child. He is a boy, and I love him. He's 7 years old, going on 77.
He's grown.
His name is Nabil St. Andrew, and is just the thing that makes my heart continue to go and want to work extra harder for him. Even thinking about it is getting me a little, but I know that he was placed in my life for a reason. And on the flip side, as a professional, I am a dance movement psychotherapist. And I am in private practice. I have been in private practice since 3/3/23. I love those numbers.
Love those numbers.
And it wasn't by choice. I was literally let go from possibly and was let go there. And that started my journey into private practice. And I have not turned back since. I am also, it's like so much, right? I am a writer. I am creating this film that has been written about 18 years ago. And it was placed in my heart, and I am now finally, I just found a sound engineer, and I'm just doing that work. And I realize throughout this journey, it's really not about the end result. It's about the actual in between. The process. Can you imagine? And that film is called Rhetorical. And lastly, I've gotten back into my acting bag. And so I'm teaching young women in the Upper Nyack area, and I teach every Fridays at 5:00. And we're coming up with a production, and we're actually I made an adapted screen a play to the play that I actually put up at the National Black Theater. It was for a 3-week run. Yes. Yes.
I already have things in my head, but I don't want to interrupt. I get so excited,
Right.
that I did get, I was telling someone that I am going to use my first 10 podcast episodes to regroup and revamp. And someone was like, well, one note is that you sometimes talk over your guests. I'm like, I'm not talking over. I just get so excited. I get so excited.
Because when I'm with my clients, I'm like, ooh, I'll constantly say, I'm sorry, I just cut you off. I'm sorry, I just cut you off. But I understand. I've been taking like and I study communications, and what it is that we are so excited to really, because maybe it could be spiritual that you already thought about it and then you want that confirmation. But I learned it does put people in a place. So it's like, that's your work. And I know personally that's like, you know? So yeah, so we're adapting, and it's called Waiting in Line.
Waiting in line.
And now it has taken on a new face. And then lastly, doing just developing an app for dance movement therapy to make it accessible. And that was definitely laid into my heart. Worked on a project with Odegon, their marketing agency, and I created like a 40-day challenge. And I was like, why am I doing this for other people and I'm not doing this for me? So yeah. So in a nutshell, that's what's going on.
That is pretty amazing. And like a clear example of what I tell people. People are like, what do you mean career design? Like people,
Mm,
you can ask someone what their profession is, but your profession and how you're designing your career are two different things, right? You
I
just
love
told
that.
a story that is so multi-layered. You just
Mm,
told how you wove in your past experience as acting, your love for dance and movement, health and wellness, mental health,
mm-hmm.
into what you are doing as a career. You talked about how you had to pivot and how that changed your trajectory and your path. Like, that's what I
Yes.
mean about a design. A
I
design
love
because
that.
just like patterns are designed, woven,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's life is not going to have the same career pattern. It's not going to have. So I try to keep that at my core, especially when the look at them sets in. It's like, but their career design is different than my career design. So
Right.
I can't look at anyone else but myself. So thank you.
Thank you. I love that phrase, career design. It gives you more outlet to really like grow, and you said it when the look at them happens, but there's not a part of your design, right? So
Yep.
then we can settle back into
Right.
baseline. We
Exactly. A good way
redirect.
to ground and redirect. All right. So you
Right.
talked about your career and how you are building a business, both creative and focusing on dance movement. Tell me, how do you balance that with motherhood? Do you connect them, or is it very cut and dry in terms of your daily life?
Right. They are interconnected. They are so paralleled, and they are so interwoven in what I do, because I have to listen. I have to have patience. I have to take time to also redirect that negative voice,
Hmm.
hearing that self doubt. And I see it in my son. And I am able to really hone in on moments where, there was a moment earlier when he was younger and there was like a potty issue kind of situation. And I just went to eye level, right? I lowered myself down and I told him, you do not ever have to feel ashamed for having an accident,
Right.
right? And getting to that level is as if I correlated when I'm working with my senior population, I'm getting onto their level. If they're in a wheelchair, if they're all confined, I'm mirroring that and I'm letting them know I'm here with you in the struggle. So bringing it back to Nabil, I was able to let him know. I said, you know what? You can always tell mommy anything, anything. And I was a pee girl. Okay. And then opened it up. Mommy, what? You were a pee? I said, what? I was a pee. I said, even I'm still a pee girl. I mean,
For
let's just say,
other reasons.
and I know that's why I'm constantly like, hello, did you go to the bathroom? Did you do this? Did you do, because I know what that's like. And when I shared disclosure. Sometimes in therapy, there's like a fine line, like how much do you share? But there's also a hierarchy with therapy, and you think the therapist is all high mighty and all knowing. And no, when I do self disclosure, I think in my back of my head, is this in service, and will this be a service for my client? Will they benefit for it, or be like something that's like way off? And no, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, when my self disclosure happens, it's just like, hello, we are people, we are human. And so to bring it on back, when I was in grad school at Sarah Lawrence College, I constantly said in my cohort, I feel like I'm studying to become a superhero, to the point where my thesis was titled, It's a Bird. No, it's a plane. No, it's a dance movement psychotherapist. I felt that I was literally like, my teachers were Professor X. And I just like, and so I liken all of these like pillars that we had that came before us into like the strengths. Some people are really great with attunement. Some people are great with mirroring. Some people are great with affirmations. Some people are great with the actual like movement profiles that we have. And so I think it with that same lens when it comes to Nabi. And I'm like, yo, I got you. I got you, because I'm a superhero. So there's that.
And I love that you talked about like some of the practice you do with your clients, like getting eye level, but do you ever use actual dance or movement to help him get grounded when he's overwhelmed or having a tantrum? What does that look like?
Yes. So when I notice he's like moving fast, he's moving over here, going over there, and I just like, help, 1, 2, 3, and freeze, 1, 2, 3, and freeze. Or you got to move. 1, 2, 3, and freeze. Oh, I like that. I like that one. I like that one. That was good. And then at that moment, I caught him because he's like, it's a game. Oh, we playing, mommy.
Yeah.
And then I go, let's breathe in, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3. And I say, look up. I use my voice as, okay, look up. And we're at 2, 3, 4. Look down. 2, 3, 4. Look side. 2, 3, 4, and side. And then I say, shake it on now. Shake it. Oh, da, 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 da. And then I reel that in, reel it in. Because I notice, because I know he's flailing, he's moving, he's bumping into things. I'm like, yo. And that's why I do the quick, freeze. And that has just like, it always, because instead of me yelling and be like, hello, stop running, no, I'm not going to say that anymore, because he loves to run, but it's just not the time and the place. So
How incredible is that?
right. And I love for you all to use that. Mommies out there, please, pro mamas, use that and freeze, breathe in, look up, down, side, and then shake your sillies out and call it a day. That's all.
Awesome. Now, pre-motherhood or when you first transitioned to motherhood, how did you use movement to reconnect with your own body? As we know, motherhood does some things to us, right? And some people
Listen.
have experiences where they just don't feel like themselves during pregnancy, post-pregnancy. Did you use any of that practice in moving for feeling more aligned with yourself and your body?
Thank you for that question, Felicia. You know what? During my pregnancy, I was looking for a job because I graduated 2017, and we found out we were pregnant in December, and I was still looking for a job. I was managing a restaurant, Harley's BBQ, being the manager, okay, in Harlem. Hello, go hard, but they're not there no more.
Okay.
Restaurants have a,
Yes.
long. Anyway, but yeah, I was in pain, right? Fast forward, it was a big scare, and I didn't think that I was going to have him, and I had to go to the emergency room. And I found out everything. We were in the clear. And one nurse said, according to his BPMs, she noticed it. She wouldn't be surprised if it were a boy. And I was very early in the game. So I've always had that in the back of my mind. And now I ended up leaning in my connections, and I ended up receiving a job as my first dance movement therapist job. And it was in Brooklyn, and not like, okay, not like downtown Brooklyn. This was Ocean Ave near Far Rock, like all the way at the end.
Like King's
And
Plaza.
beyond King's Plaza. This is by where the Russians and them are. You know what I mean?
Bay
Like,
Ridge, Bensonhurst.
yes.
No,
Yes. I
Bensonhurst
was
area.
out there. I was at the end of the D line. Okay. It was crazy. So I could not. I had that dilemma, like, oh my God, I don't want to tell them I am with child, right?
Hmm.
And I needed a job. And I lived in Elmsford, New York at the time. This is Westchester. So many times I'm driving with a pillow in front of the car, or I'm being dropped off at the top of the D line to go all the way down, to then take another train, to then take a bus to move, to then walk. And I was working at Menorah Nursing Home. It's a rehabilitation spot. And I was constantly moving.
Mm.
Nabi is a mover because in utero, I was
Moving
doing
and shaking.
complete dance therapy classes to the point where I was full term, and I was moving and shaking, and the beach was there, and I would have to walk so far, but I would have the connection of the water. And I
Mm-hmm.
happen to be a water sign. I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
And so, I was very driven by the water, which soothed me, but it was not easy, right? But dance movement therapy was the thing that really got me through and helped me. And ultimately, he came 3 weeks early, and I have scoliosis,
Yeah.
and I was afraid of getting an epidural. So I'm thankful that I was able to have him naturally and all that stuff. But I feel like it was like a karmic like circle, like God was like, I got you. I know it's 3 weeks early. In my mind, I think his birthday is supposed to be August something, but his birthday came in July 1st. And so it's just like, wow, I was giving to people and then when it was my time to go through that transition of birth, I feel like the God universe was given to me. And it wasn't easy, but that was my story.
That's beautiful. That's
Right.
beautiful. And in your work in dance movement, I know now you also are designing your career and not thinking, you're working on developing an app. One thing that you said was accessibility. And I think about how a lot of times mothers, parents want to do things, but they just like, what would I do with my child while I do the thing?
Right.
How do you use, when you think about accessibility, has your experience as a mother navigated why you created this app, or how do you think it would help other mothers and everyone, since everyone can benefit from it? Just trying to think of, like, when you think about accessibility restrictions, who are you thinking about?
Right. Wow. That's such a beautiful question, because my goal is I'm thinking about people that don't have access to healthcare insurance. I'm thinking about advocacy for my profession, because sometimes people think I'm a dance teacher and we're totally different places. We're clinically based, and we have the know the wherewithal to know what is really happening in the brain,
Okay.
right? And so also, I'm thinking it within arm's length. Our attention spans are so short nowadays that we just need a quick fix sometimes. And I've noticed streaks are important for some people and
Yeah.
not. But we won't have that kind of space where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm celebrating you. You checked in today. I wonder, you must have had a time. And now you're going to take this 5 minutes to take a deep breath, or you're going to take this time to stretch your arms, right? Or you're going to take this time to go and try to walk around your block, right?
Yeah.
So it's very accessible things. Walk up and down your stairs if you don't have a block and you're afraid, you're worried about who's outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then you go up down your stairs real quick. Or we're going to do 10 paces, right? Jumping jacks. We're going to do something. So the spirit of the app is just to really inform, impact, And lastly, just really, there's no judgment. There's no streaks. There's like, oh my God, you didn't do this. Because when I curated the 40-day challenge, there was like so many things that they wanted to put in where it just shames you. Like
If you
this
don't
is
meet the milestones or something.
word. It's like, yeah, this, that. And I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? And so I really wanted to be like, mom, just put down baby. Baby is probably supposed to be sleeping in their own bed, but they're in your bed and they're done. You hear them snoring, knocking you over, and then you can
Right. Do a
still
little.
do a little something, something where you may, oh, let me go into the bathroom. I could do this. You just, again, the accessibility part is a big driver for this app.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I get it because even myself, like I I go into these seasons where I am able to wake up and work out and do the morning routine. And then I recently had like a stump where like I just was tired of doing it at home. And I was thinking of
mm,
some options of doing it outside. And I was like, why get the gym membership? I cannot leave my children. I'm a single mom. When am I going to go to the
uh-huh.
gym? When? When?
Right.
So it's just like, forget it. But a lot of the times when I do get back into my routines, I do use apps and videos and resources because I can do it in my living room. Like you said, I could do it at midnight. I can do it
Yep.
I don't have to worry about making this class or
Right. Oh my
changing my
gosh. And I'm a class.
clothes, having the right
Listen.
clothes, having the right
Right.
shoes. I
Right.
totally get that. And I think it is gonna be so successful because you're thinking about the people who are in need. Like you have these, trend, luxury, classes, dance classes, fad things that people can afford. I can't spend
Yes.
$40 to take a spin class every day on my lunch
Thank you.
break.
No, thank
I
you.
can't
No, thank you, man. But you know what? No, but if you're riding on a bus, if you're riding on a train, you could
do
tune
some.
everybody else out and you could breathe,
Yeah.
right? Or you could write down a few goals that you have, or shoot, I'm or a list like I want to do this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But you still are not like inundated with life's pressures, but you taking time for you, whatever you need at that moment. That's it.
Beautiful. So it seems
Yeah.
like you lead with a lot of empathy or like care. So how has motherhood made you more intentional with the decisions you make as a creator?
I feel like prior to motherhood, I was a little bit very like free with it. And so now I think about my legacy, and I think about what am I instilling in Nabil and what he will instill with his children. And we have conversations about like, oh, mom, you're going to have a tiny house in our backyard and we will cook for you. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Pa, thank you. And and then humor also is one of like my saving grace. And currently we have been like Saturday Night Live and we've been focusing on Marcelo. Marcelo has been like our jam. And at night I also listen to like audiobooks. So the first one we listened to, and it sounds so adultish, but it was Mel Robbins' Let Them.
Okay.
And I'm a part of Mocha Moms, and our chapters in Rockland, and that was one of the books that they had for that month. And so I just downloaded it and just played it in the background, and he was craving it after we were done. And I'm like, wow,
Uh,
we gotta move on. And so now we are we finished Harry Potter, The Sorcerer's Stone, and now my favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz and The Wiz. So we're doing The Wizard of Oz now. And so I say all of these things to just basically say, like, I am the legacy. I would love for him to know that his mom was so creative and she was fun and not trying to be like trying to win his attention, but this is just who I am. Oh,
hmm
his dad is very stern, concrete Jamaican man, no
No
business,
business.
no business agwan, right? And so there's me, and I feel like I add the color, and so I think it's all legacy with that. I like to finalize that question is
Sure.
like my legacy is humor.
Yes. So I'm gonna let the audience in on a little fun fact. She mentioned that we were at Hasha together. We were also part of a dance team. Imani.
We were in Imani.
And I always look at my friends who are in Imani who are still in the movement space some way, somehow, whether it be personal training or dancing or creating.
Hello.
So to see you still moving is always like, she's still moving. And you know what? Many and the thing is, you are authentically still Dom. Like, you are yourself. Like, you are still you. Like, sometimes I look at the mirror.
When we auditioned you?
I know.
When we auditioned you?
I had on a
We
leather
was
jacket.
like,
I had some tights on and a little jacket.
you had some tights, and my girl, I gotta say, her body was bodying all day, every day. It's not about body, but we were like,
for those days.
yo. And then you backed it up. You
Yeah,
were
'cause I
able
could
to
dance.
do, you could actually dance. We were like, check. Felicia. Yes, Felicia.
Thank you. We got to pull
Oh
up
my
the
God.
files. Oh my goodness.
Yo.
But I say that
Becky?
to say many mothers, they kind of lose themselves, right? And they don't recognize who they are. Like, they set aside their creative passion once they have children. They just put it to the back burner. Like, did you ever have to fight to keep your identity as a creative? Was it like, now I'm a mom, I have to find a structured corporate thing because society says I'm a mom, I need to focus on the 4K? Or were you always true to Dom? I'm a creative, I'm an actress. I want to know how you kept yourself.
You know what? I gotta go with the latter. I think dance movement therapy, that profession chose me. I found it. It was a beautiful blessing, and we could talk about that for days. But to stay on the topic, I remember before I was pregnant, I had a first lead role in this like web series called Date, Love, Repeat. And I played Alexis Bryant, and I was able to be the lead the first time, and everything went through it. We were on Prime, and it was like a selective like moment in time, maybe for a month. We were on Prime, and I remember driving down. I didn't have a sitter. I drove, Nabi and I was in the back seat driving to Harlem for the premiere. And I have like pictures of him on the red car with Tony Clomax, who was the director writer, and Lynn Daniels, who was the executive producer. And it was just like, this is it. And it was displayed in the National Black Theater. So it was such a full circle moment. My papa he was like maybe one on the red carpet taking pictures, not even knowing what's going on. And, sometimes they were asking the Q&A, and I had him right there with me. And I've always been like the one that has had the career. And I remember I was still in the same location in Elmsford, New York, but then I got a job closer because I was an intern there, and I was so pissed that everybody was getting jobs, but no one cared about dance therapy. But this was a specific population, and these children were 95% of them are nonverbal, on trachs, and have no autonomy, and so I played into the imaginative space. And through that work, the director at the time, Kristen O'Grady, called me and said, "Hey, Dominique, we're offering a dance therapy position." And I created that role. They never had dance therapy until, all of the work that has been done. And I remember my first day in training, Andre and Nabi are pulling up, and I have to breastfeed on my lunch.
Pro mama
in the car.
stuff.
In the car doing my thing. Okay, because Nabi would not eat,
He was attached to the source.
Yeah. Okay. So then he figured it out. He worked it out.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about that. And then as I go through the progression of my career, I've always been able to kind of like mirror and match the two to make it work. And only time that it didn't work is when I was at that place where I was let go. And that is when I decided I've started with this being authentic self. I'm not gonna
Right.
and
Pivoting.
I think I have the creative resources to make it work.
I love
Yeah.
it. Thank you. I love that you have Nabi by your side, especially for those moments. Because you said in that time he didn't realize it, but some of that it will stick. And I
Yeah.
think about that, like, I work events and many times I got to work nights, early mornings,
Mm,
especially certain
mhm.
seasons, commencement season, holiday
Right.
season. And I think about like
Right.
how my kids sometimes complain. They're a little bit older. Like,
Mhm.
why can't you pick us up? Like, mommy has an event,
Yeah.
But I think about how that is going to shape their perception of
Mm,
just life, you know?
right.
And my question that I have for you is what do you think he is learning from observing you in all the spaces that you're in? Cuz you
Mm.
fill up so like you talk about mind, body, creativity. There's so many things. Like I've just learned so much in this 30-minute conversation that we're having. He gets to see you
Right.
every day. What do you hope if you don't know what he's learning, what do you hope he takes away?
What would I hope he takes away? So one time, this is like maybe 2 years ago, I'm working in Old Greenwich with one of my clients with the nursing home. And I didn't have a sitter at that time. And I took him with me in group. So I was able to have him pass out cymbals, drums, and shakers and eggs. And he's a natural drummer.
I was going to
He's a
say
natural
he's
performer.
also a performer.
Yeah, yeah. His dad is a musician, and he sees like he knows like, oh, mommy's in a session. All right, that means I'm gonna create or do something to fill up that space.
He
So when we were in that group and they loved him. Older people love to see younger people.
mhm.
There's just like this invisible veil of connection. It's like the new, and I don't like to say old, but it's like the
The seasoned.
past season. Thank you. Season, right? It was that connecting. And then he would give them a hug, even though there was a little, not too much, you know, Mama Bear came in. But it was beautiful for him to see mommy in action, right? It was like, wow, I could really see what you do.
Yeah.
Because when I'm in session, it has to be closed. It has to have my sound machine. I have to really protect my clients' autonomy and their privacy. And so he would hear just I'm in session, but then he got to physically see what it's like. And he's always referring to, oh, mom, you going to the old people? I'm like, no, my senior, my older adults, I'm like trying to like,
Yeah, reframe. He's like, same
right,
difference.
reframe that.
Same
Right.
race,
And
same
so
difference.
I would love for him to think of his mom as being very passionate, playful, and just like hardworking, hardworking.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. You're doing an amazing job. Like just hearing, like, especially the part of you like going for your dreams. Like as a person who just tapped into this creative space, I
Right.
was hesitant, but I'm so happy I had the support to kind of like push me through. And I always tell people, it's only successful because I know so many pro mamas. Like,
You know
I can
that.
look down my list and be like, she doing like, that part
But
is
she
not
had
the
the
talent.
vision
The
though.
talent is not hard. Getting the interviews because there's so, I watch you. I just see that, number one, you're doing the work you love. There's people
Mm,
who wake up and dread what they do. But I
mhm,
could just,
mhm.
but knowing who you are as a person and watching you do what
Yeah.
you love, I'm like, that's the cheat code right there. And then um, when you share snippets of Nabi on the drums, I'm like, he got the
Yeah.
creative. Yes. I'm like, yes. Like, y'all could be a whole traveling dad playing whatever. You got Nabi on the drums. You doing the movement. I think I just been at a conference. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I love that he also has his own thing and that, like,
Yes,
I
he
can
has his own
see so
thing.
much of both of you guys in him.
Mhm,
And that is
mhm.
so beautiful. That's so dynamic.
It is.
Keep
It's a
up
nice
the.
co-parenting. It's a nice co-parenting like vibe that we have going. So I just like really I love it. We were on a cruise. Me and Nabi was on a cruise because that's our other like our like jam.
Mm-hmm.
And he studied I Want You Back, Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his jam. And on the cruise, they were like, oh, and so like he, that's me teaching him the classics,
Yeah.
teaching him the things like that. And so
Exactly.
he was the star on that cruise. Everyone was like, hey, Michael. And he loves the penny loafers, those white, black and white shoes.
Yes.
That's such an old soul.
I
So I
love
know it's
it.
crazy.
All right, so you're gonna have to teach some things to the pro mama before we end,
Yeah.
because we could talk for days. But
Okay.
we want to get some pro mama info. How you can help us out here. What is your favorite pro mama parenting hack? I mean, you gave us a really good gem earlier,
Yeah.
but if you have
Yeah.
anything else, it could be a shortcut, it could be a life hack, anything.
You know what? I've been trying to get veggies into his system. So I've been using Haya and I mask it as if it's Milo, right? So we'll watch, right? Right. So I can get the greens in him because, yes, he likes to be like, oh, you serve it. But then you see that cold when you
Yes,
the
piece of
carry up the
yeah.
plate. But we do the Milo situation. So he's like, I'll pour it for you, mommy. I'll pour it. And when he
Aw.
turned around, I'm like,
Yep.
doing a little extra, right? You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
then we do the condensed milk and we just do
Oh,
the
you making it
and
good.
he'll do it for me. And I'm like, a little bit more. So I think that and the vitamins, it's a very big thing. Poppy, get your vitamins. We got to do what we got to
I
do,
love that. I'm trying.
that because I know with him, that's what he needs,
Yep.
and I'm like, how do I make this work? And I know gaming works with him. So
Okay, I love
that's
that.
a
Thank
little
you.
hack. Get
Yes,
the
you gotta get
Haya.
the veggies in by any means necessary. There's so many different options. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, what is your go-to
Right.
act of self-care right now? What are you doing for Dom? Like, what are you doing for yourself?
Nothing. I mean, no. Did I say that? No. Oh,
If
okay. All right. So one thing I now just developed that was just like the big one is traveling, but I always take him with me. So it's like, it's still work. That's work. I took him to Disney World for the first time in February last month. And that was like, that gave me so much joy. But getting my nails done, I have locks now. So I don't really get my hair or switch up my hair because it used to be doing my hair was my self-care. I would switch up styles like nobody's business. And so I don't really do that now. But getting my nails done, I love that.
a
And
little
getting
thing.
and going to get like body oils, like that's my
Yes.
jam. Okay. I love that. I love that.
I've had a candle burning since this morning because I told you I needed to
This,
set up
oh my God, candles still. Yes. I have my candle.
Yes, I had to set up the day one of spring break so I could use the
Yeah.
aromatherapy to keep me zen so I could be like
It is so
Dominique and
good. Shut
getting
up.
eye level to the people then.
You gotta get that.
The problem is they're my
I
eye
love your
level
hair.
now. Thank you. That Harper is my eye level now. She's in my shoe
My-
size now. She's about to be 11. So that's the problem. We already eye level, and that's what's causing the
Oh, the dynamic, the power dynamic. No, Harper is not.
yes.
Oh, I
She's going to
cannot.
6th grade.
I remember when she was born. I
Yeah.
cannot believe this. And you already, I mean, I'm not
Okay.
gonna let the audience know. You're not really
I know. I'm
you
5
don't have
too,
that
but the
height
fact that my
advantage.
5th grader
Exactly.
is
You said it. That
already,
means
All right, non-negotiable. What is your non-negotiable when it comes to career and motherhood?
when I looked over the chart and when you had like this nice writer going on, I was like, okay, I was, taking it in. I noticed, I was like, how am I going to answer this question? But I realized all of my career, my things are shaped around Nabi.
Mm.
So, all right, so everything is shaped around him. My schedule, all of my clients know I have a child. They will know if he's off. I will prep them. And I think my non-negotiable is that I have to be able to pick up my child. I have to
I
be
love.
able to get him when I need to get.
Yep. So your non-negotiable is being able to pick up your child. So it sounds like
Yeah.
nothing, your career, your schedule could not interfere, momming, and what you have to do for him.
Nope. I don't care. I don't care if I have to wake up on a Saturday early morning to bring him to soccer or baseball or, now we're doing jujitsu and these things. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to have to push. It's okay. This is what I'm here
You
for.
got to
I
do
wish
what you got to
I
do.
had that, I had the ability to take dance classes, which changed the trajectory of my life. So I know that these moments are important.
Yeah. I feel like I say this every episode, like the time, there's not going to be a repeat of this day and this time.
Right.
So, and you can't get it back. You can't get 2-year-old Nabi back. I can't get 3-year-old Harper back. Like, if I didn't use that time to cherish it. And I know people, think about all the negatives of like social media, but I think about how we are documenting our lives and archiving, looking back at like things that I've posted or experiences. Because when I go to my mom's house, we got these big albums that we can flip through. But sometimes when I get in my little feelings, or the Shutterfly or the Facebook gives you the 5 years ago today,
the memories, the damn memories.
So it's great that that is a non-negotiable and that you let that be known to your professional community and to your social community. Friends and family should already know that. But I know sometimes it's hard for us to advocate, especially if we are advocating in a space where other people don't understand. Like there's not other moms, or like for me, like some people, like I have other mom friends, but they might not be single moms. I'm like, or moms of two, moms of multiple. There's so many layers. Like,
right.
Finding childcare for one is different than finding childcare for two.
Hello.
Just bring the kids. Bringing one kid to brunch, bringing 2 kids to brunch, and I got to pay for them to eat. Now they fighting.
Right. And you still try to listen to what people are saying.
They're trying to be engaged with the girls.
Right.
It's like, it's not fun. You want to see them, but I'm trying to unwind. So
exactly, it's a lot to navigate.
Duh, thank you so much. You filled my cup in so many ways. You're reminding me to move and stay creative. You're reminding me what I'm capable of doing as a mom. I think that you're a true gift by sharing. I know that you share on TikTok and Instagram, and that you just let people just get a little insight. I love the geriatric care because people also don't focus, but I have a fondness for older people. I don't know if it's I grew up with both of my grandparents. I grew up in a multi-generational house, so I was always around older people. They're the funniest.
Yeah, they are.
I can't wait to get, they are
most
most funnest, most honest, the storytelling, the energy, the honesty.
The manners, the
authenticity. Yes. So thank you.
Part.
And I'm like, oh, she looks like she has so much fun at what she does. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We talked a little teaser when we have our first Pro Mama live podcast, which we will. Already is going to usher us in with some movement to get us grounded. And I'm looking forward to collaborating more in the future. And I thank you so. I can't say enough.
Thank you.
This has been such a gem.
I'm so happy that you see me. I'm so happy I see you. I can't wait for your podcast to just flourish as much as it will. And you got this. And I will be there on that panel. And I'm going to lead the movement to usher in that space.
Yes.
And I know. Thank you again. I love you.
I love you too. And I can't wait to see you soon and spend some time with you.
Yes. Okay. Deal. Okay. Be well.